Wow, guys, I am all over the place. Whew, I got just too much caffeine in me. It is crazy. I want to thank everyone for coming into today's session. This is September 6th. We are going to talk about why math sucks. And on just gonna get a handle on the tune just for a touch. Gotta find out where all my controls are hiding at. There she be. So we are here, we are there, and let's go ahead and let's get things started going. I learned a little bit of a trick. We add that to the stream, we add that to the stream, and yeah. Bollocks. Well, I hope I don't lose the tunes because all I'm getting is tunes. I don't know if you guys are getting tunes. Trying to add a little bit of nice relaxation because math sucks and math is stupid. I hear it all the time in the shop, but I like to ease people's opinions and just call it shop math. Group layout, press shift plus 3. Shift plus 3? What does that do? It's probably because I'm using a free version, I bet. That's what sucks. See, if I bring it up, then it gets the audio in there, you know? Oh, well. See, that's what I want right there. I want that option. Screen layout, shift plus 6. Well, let's move along with it, folks. I don't want to delay too much. We are on a time crunch. It is 5:11, and I'm already late, so I want to thank you for being patient with me right now. So here we go. We've all said it when we were kids, and we've all said it to our teacher. We're never going to use this math, but here we are. We are working in the automotive industry, and there's math all around us. There's math every day. And let's go through here. Unbleached. There's my favorite internet stalker. There you go. Guess what, baby? I got your hammer sent out. JP, it's always good to see you. Everything is math. Yes, it is. You do not believe how much math we are using on lifted 4x4s and in engine building. How to automotive repair. Good to see you. Thanks for coming back. Yep, I think I'm just gonna have to buy the subscription, man. It's the only way to plumb it in. I want to get some chill music while I'm talking to make everything a little bit more enjoyable. Yep, the hammer's coming, baby. It's coming. I finally got it through. You know, just got to get some catitude. Here we go. Slide time. Okay, so let's first off, let's go ahead. Can I make this bigger for y'all? No, what did I do? I want to make this bigger. I want to get my face out of here so you guys can see it bigger. Yes. Okay, let's make a plug for my paid content here. I am working part-time with CTI Online. All right, that is ctionline.com. Go there, and I am doing paid classes. If you go as an individual, class by class, you're going to pay $50 class by class. But if you sign up for a monthly subscription, it's $100 to take unlimited virtual training. It is probably the best thing you can do to just catch up on the last 10 years of technology. My I would honestly say if your shop, because let me rephrase this. Let me rephrase this because I got a little too much water in me. So the CTI Online is partnered with WorldPack Car Parts. So if your shop is working already with these car parts with CarQuest, they need to just pay the $100. Your whole shop for $100 can send all their technicians to this website, and you can sign up for this unlimited training. If they're not going to do that, then you yourself can just sign up and you can make an account and make an imaginary shop, and you can go unlimitedly. That's what I ended up doing. I just made my own shop and I called it Baja Automotive. I became very, very good friends with these instructors, and eventually they just said, "Hey, this guy's been coming here for like a year and a half, and he's pretty daggone smart. Let's hear him out." And now I work for them. So here's the upcoming classes that I'm going to be co-hosting and hosting myself. And here's the titles and the classes. You'll notice that in these titles, I have different names, and that is just because these classes, they haven't retitled them under my name yet. So they're still under the other ones. The course, the person who's in charge of the website, he's a little bit slow. So if you're looking them up, you'll look them up under Andrew Gibson. You'll look them up under Tom Smith. So starting from the top, we got GDI 4203, gasoline direct injection, analytical test drive. That one's going to focus on actually teaching you what you're supposed to be doing on a test drive, actually setting up your test drive foundation, not just going out there and winging it, actually building up a hypothesis. We're going to teach you how to be a scientist, so to say, and then breaking down your data log and deducing what test you should do next. So even if you are really, really good at doing diagnostics on GDI vehicles, this is still a really good fundamental course because you should be interacting with us. Maybe you're not so sharp on your fundamental skills, or maybe you're just you're skipping a fundamental skill. I learned a lot when I started taking their basic EP classes. I learned that I understood a lot about electronics, but my 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, I was more of a kind of like a 1, 3, 7, 8 kind of guy. And I started slowing down more, and I realized why it's so important to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I started making much better confirmed diagnostics. And I stopped making little tiny mistakes where I go, damn, like I got to go back and I got to recheck something. So those little 20 seconds where I said, I don't need to spend 20 seconds double checking that, or I spend 20 seconds even looking at that, I realized why it's important to spend 20 seconds at that. So it's a really, really good fundamental course. And if you feel confident in that task, take it, interact with us, because we're going to be hosting it through, all our classes are hosted through, shoot, I lost my train of thought. We're going to be hosting everything through Zoom. We're going to give you an open mic. It's going to have a formal slideshow, but we're going to be talking to you informally. We want you to interrupt us. We want you to ask questions. We want you to present your own problems that you're experiencing in the workforce, and try and stump the chumps. That's what we try and do. We try and the gentleman and I that we shoot the slideshows with, we try and have like that old school car talk show where it was click and clack. Like, we don't know everything, but we want to shoot the shit with everybody out there. So moving along, this is a really, really cool one out there. The one that's coming up in 2 weeks. Go back. I clicked. Pressure waveform analysis. This has been out there for a long time, but it's still shit hot technology to a lot of people. uh, using compression gauges is I've I'm a it's kind of scary to say it's dead technology to me now. And now everything is digital with a laptop. So when I'm doing a compression test now, I'm doing it digitally with a laptop, and I'm actually graphing out on an oscilloscope, and I'm looking at how the piston makes compression, and I'm seeing how it sucks down the air and goes into a vacuum, and then watching how it poops it out of the exhaust, and watching the VVT happen, and then watching how it comes back on a compression cycle. And I can hook up another channel, and I can look at the spark line, and then I can, just by that, by having two channels on there, I can tell you how good that one piston's breathing. I can tell you if that cam is in time. And then once I go through all the cylinders, I'm like, this is a good engine, or there's something wrong with that one cylinder on that VVT. You get so much more than just doing a compression test and then having to go back and do a leak down test. It really brings you up to the 24th century. And even if you don't have that technology in your shop yet, and even if you can't afford that technology yet, it is still a wake-up call on how the engine breathes. That is the most important thing. Is it's an inside look at how this engine is breathing. Here's my little prop that I made. It's actually a syringe, guys. But I mean, we talk about it like this. You put your finger over the hole of the syringe. This is a valve. This is a piston, and here's the valve opening. You're trying to compress. You're building pressure, 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 and then it opens up. That's how we talk. Think about it like that. We're gonna go into hybrid. Then I got 4-wheel drive technology coming up, all-wheel drive systems, gasoline, direct injection, so on and so forth. So there's the codes. There's the teachers. You see what I'm going on? I'm getting hung up on this slide. We need to move on. If you got any questions, you just need to, let me put the banner up there. Right there. Just email me, okay? If you got any questions with trying to sign up. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you're interested in this anytime down the road, you need to make an account ahead of time. It takes about a week to get your account set up. So don't dilly-dally. Setting up an account can take about a week because this is they have a small secretary crew. And if you have any problems, you might have to make a courtesy phone call. So trying to sign up for a class the day before or the day of, it may or may not happen. Math, I is Meniki not need meth. That is right. We will actually teach you the differences between MAF and speed density systems and volumetric efficiency, and actually using first look sensors. I just had an individual in a shop. He spent 3 months working on a car. He never wants to talk to me about diagnostics because I don't know why, but he just finally decided to. He had an engine. It's an automatic WRX, and I don't want to hear about automatic WRXs, but they're nice cars to me. It's a 22 WRX, and it's an automatic. And when you get on it in the beginning, there's a little bit of a kind of like falling your face feel, but then after a while, it kicks in and it goes. And the car's got 60,000 miles on it. Nobody could figure it out. It's been living in the shop for 60 days with this guy, and nobody has given the car to me as an assignment. And I'm not going to say anything. I got my own project cars. So finally, he's just given up, and he's like, I'm just going to tear this damn car apart. I don't know why he decided to do that. He's not getting paid to do it. He tears it apart, and what does he find? He finds one of the rocker rollers has slipped off the intake camshaft. And I kind of just giggled, and I told him, I says, man, I says, my picoscope with my first look sensor would have found that in 5 minutes. because that's the first thing I would have looked at with a car that was struggling like that. And he's like, I got oil pumps and phasers on it, and it's a funny story, but that's what all this breathing would have done, because that's what I was like telling him. I was like, man, I got this car's got a breathing problem. Let's move on with slides. Now you can move forward. So here's our first slide. Can I change the position of my head out of the way? Yes. Algebra, baby. Algebra. This is the one class we all hated. There we got, I think Shopcat got just 3 months. Yeah. Dude, I don't, yeah, I assume it was his own. Yeah, I think working on the car, he probably put about 500 miles on it. The parts that he loaded up on it, he put a oil pump, and the oil pump is integrated into the front timing chain cover, and he's got 4 phasers on it, and he's got an oil pickup, all for a roller that we could have seen with a first look sensor, and pushed back on with a screwdriver by just lifting up a valve cover. So I'm not going to make this a history class about algebra, but just to point out how old algebra is, it is very, very, very old math, okay? Like back in 1800 Babylon and Egypt. Okay, sorry folks. I don't know why, but like I'm starting over myself. Sorry. So we use algebra to figure out what variables are on the left and the right sides of an equation. I'm sure we've all seen equations where we have f of x and we have do's and don'ts, and we learn about order of operation. And this is a really, really important thing of why you need to take a basic algebra class, is because we teach you order of operation. I pulled this equation out of an STI. This is a 2022 STI equation on how to check your valve clearance and how to adjust it. Okay, so it tells you what your 3 variables are here. We got S, which is the valve lifter thickness required. V is the measured valve clearance, and T is the current valve lifter thickness. Now, over here on the right-hand side, it's very important to note that in parentheses is inches, and everything here on the outside is millimeters. We're going to be sticking with millimeter inches, since the shims that you order for this from the parts catalog, they come in millimeters, and everything that is in my toolbox is in millimeters. It's very rare that I measure anything in inches unless I'm at a machine shop, and the machine shop has a lot of things that are in inches. It is a fight. So let's get a shared screen up here. I'm going to go to present and slides. No, stop screen. Present. No, present. Share screen. There it is. It's all right. It's the result of me having way too many tabs open. There it is. And I can't see my damn face. You love it? There it is. It's true. You know, I didn't, I didn't really like algebra until I really got my head wrapped around it, and I kinda had one of these beautiful moment things, and I went, "Oh my gosh," and all of a sudden, everything just became beautiful to me. Everything became math. So, here I wanna show you, I took our Val-Shem equation right up here. You can see it in the upper left-hand corner, and again, I'm not gonna teach a math class here, but if you're familiar with writing equations and having to graph them out, you have to write them in an f of x fashion. But because we have two variables, I have to write them in an f x y. Okay, because that's what I'm using. I'm using two variables. Um, we're graphing on an XY coordinate, and uh, this digital graphing calculator only knows what an XY is, so I can't use V and T. Follow me with that logic, please. So I wrote XY parentheses x plus y close bracket minus 0.19. That is the equation for the STI intake cam clearance. Now, with that said, let's look and see what our numbers are happening right here. I can use the slider right here for this F. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I'm having a dumb moment. I'm trying to touch the screen that I'm presenting, and I'm realizing that I have to go to the actual tab. I'm having presenter issues. So I'm going to play an animation. Well, first off, I'm going to show you what this is what the formula looks like if our valve clearance is 0. It's a complete smash, okay? And in order to get any clearance on there, start bringing in anything. That's when the second parabola comes in to play. Okay. Now this animation plays here. And this is our valve-shim clearance equation playing out. And I mostly want you to pay attention to the quadrant. Oh, good. It is showing my mouse cursor. We're going to pay attention to the quadrant that's right here, because all this stuff that's over here, this is trash. So this is why it's important. Oh, we got, hey, happy Sunday to you too. Just got here. It looks, no, no, man, it's cool. It's cool. Um, no, I just got to this point part, and I was actually just showing off how you can graph out a valve shim adjustment equation. So what I have right here, so this is the equation that you have to follow for an STI to do a valve shim adjustment. This is very similar to a lot of other. This is very similar to a lot of other vehicles that are out there that uses actual shims instead of just like a nut and a screw. All right. And pay attention to what S is, because when I go back over to the window, S is going to change into f of x. And v plus t is going to turn into an x and a y because we're graphing on an x and a y coordinate. It's going to make complete sense once I show it to you. And uh, the whole point of algebra is algebra is going to show you all the possibilities of the equation, and I'm going to show you all the non-possibilities of this equation too, because there's goods and bads. So here we back are. I'm back on the equation, and I can adjust all the possibilities that we can have. So coming back up here, the possible valve shims that Subaru sells is 4 millimeters. I think it's more like, yeah, it's like 3.5 to 5.5. So those are our possibilities if we play that out. So we stop that there. Remember, X X is V, and that is the measured valve clearance. That's going to be the smallest that we're going to see, and that's usually where I find that at about 20 thousandths. Uh, I think that, yeah, it's the intake cam clearance. I just looked it up on STIS. It's supposed to be 0.2 to 0.25 millimeters thick. So let's say it's a little tight. All right, let's say it's like in a 0.15 area. So I can come over here. I'm going to bring up, I'm going to add a line and say it's 0.16. I can come up all the way to my intersect. And you see how the possibilities can go endlessly? It's crazy, huh? They almost never want to meet. That's because it needs more input. So if I have a valve thickness, if I have a clearance, because I'm looking at about 0.16 millimeters, and then I have to add on to the thickness of what's also inside of the engine right there. Let's say it had a 0.5 cup. All right. So now I got a 6.6. And then I got to subtract a 0.19. So that'll give me a 477. But what I realistically just wanted to show you all with this is this small curve right here. These are just the small number of inputs of what your measurements would be to the very high output of what your other measurement would be. And it's very interesting to see how that all collaborates. I hope that makes sense to everybody. It was for me when I was playing around with it. Now, a very important thing to do is also understanding how to do your math correctly, um, especially right here when lining up your stuff. I'm gonna just go ahead and do my present, share screen, entire screen. Yeah, share that entire screen. There we go. Okay. So this is the biggest mistake that I see a lot of people making, and I want to get back on that PowerPoint too. So hypothetically, we said that we measured a valve clearance of 0.16 millimeters, and we had a current valve thickness of 0.500. I seriously see people who will write that down on paper as 0.516. But let's do the math. Like sometimes this is why when you're working in 120-degree heat and you've worked an 8-hour day and you've had two monsters and a cup of coffee and no water, sometimes you have to use a computer to do your math for you. So 0.16 plus zero point 0.5. I'll be damned, you get 0.66. All right, you got to line your decimals up when you do your math. I've seen people get that shit backwards so much in their head because they write down 0.500 because on the side of the shim, it says 0.500. Why? Because the person who designed the shim, they wrote it in what's called scientific notation. And scientific notation means that um, they were taking into consideration that that shim is measured in thousandths of an inch, which is 0.000 possibilities. So instead of just saying zero point 0.5 millimeters, it's going to say 0.00. It's going to say 0.500 millimeters. That's why. And if you don't understand what scientific notation is, that they're going to put all the possible decimal places. And if you don't understand when you're doing basic arithmetic that you're supposed to line up all your numbers, if you don't understand that when you're adding your numbers up for arithmetic, that all the decimals have to be right underneath each other, you're gonna have bad arithmetic. And those are really common mistakes that adults make even today in the shop. And then they go, I don't understand why I can't do a valve shim adjustment. This formula is broken, they'll say. And I'll say, well, it's because you don't know how to do math. And they'll break that formula every single time I'll see it. Don't worry, man. It's practice. It's practice, baby. So don't want to kick a dead horse too there. I'm just really just trying to be an eye opener here about showing just how cool and where all this math has been hiding. There's all kinds of really good self-help math courses out there on the YouTube, like the Khan Academy. You could get a good 20-minute crash course out there and just basic functions. It's always remember that when you're doing these equations, let me get back on. Let me get back here. Stop screen. So is that better? Can you hear me, Unbleached? Okay, great. All right, let me restart the slide. So, all right, so basically right here, I was just pointing out that geometry is just old as shit, okay? And there's circles everywhere. But right here, pointing out a really simple case study right here that happens every day in the shop that I see. Car comes in the shop, it's got one bald ass tire. It's got a bald ass tire on one side of the axle. It's got a brand new tire on the other side of the axle. Customer says every time they take a corner, the traction control light comes on. All right. And another shop has already put speed sensors on it, and there's no codes. Okay. And now you have to explain to the customer why they need a new tire. And they don't believe you that it's a difference in that it's a difference in tire size. But for some reason, that dumb customer was okay with putting $600 for the speed sensors on. Doesn't that isn't that so trivial that they'll put $600 for the speed sensors in there because they believe in electrical issues like no tomorrow, but they won't buy a tire because they don't understand how a uh, a difference in tire size will cause a drivetrain issue. So think about that. And if you had to measure a tire, let's because measuring a tire, especially if you had big mudslingers, that could be a little tricky. I understand that, and I've seen some guys get a little clever when trying to measure tires. They'll be like, yeah, I'm going to take an early lunch, and then they come back and they got 20 feet of rope, and I'll be like, what are you doing? Well, I've got to measure this tire circumference, and I kind of giggle, and I go get a cup of coffee, and I'll be like, it's going to be good. Yeah. And they wrap the rope around there and they mark it and they lay it on the floor and they have somebody with a tape measure. And I was like, man, they got two people on this now. This is great. And then they measure it and they're like, it's kind of close. Yeah, it's kind of close. And then I walk up there with just a yardstick. I go with my little iPhone, be like, yeah, there's there you go. And I think you're off by just a little bit. because when you wrap that string around, it wasn't perfect. What? Oh, how'd you do that? Dude, man, just basic geometry. I keep tapping on here. Okay. How does the situation happen? Up here trying to find a shop that will do less than 2 tires is impossible. Hmm. Oh, brother, man. We call any big metropolitan area, we just nickname those places Southside Shop. They'll do anything, man. Southside Shop, they don't care about consequences and they don't get comebacks. They just tell people your warranty is good as the tail lights on your car. When I can't see them, your warranty's void. And those are the kind of places that, you can go buy a used tire. We got tons of those here in Texas. And I'll get those cars all the time. Now I work on Subarus specifically, a lot of Subarus. I do get some other makes and models, but mainly Subarus. And Subarus is an all-time all-wheel drive. We don't have all-time all-wheel drive is not to be confused with Chevrolet and Chrysler's power transfer units, where it has a rotating clutch that will engage and disengage based on transmission speed. No, this one's just engaged all the time. So uh, I've seen these open differentials get a little pissed off if there's a tread depth difference rating of 4/32, and the hydraulic control unit or the VDC will just straight up just give up. Like, it'll give up. It'll say there's a 5 difference mile an hour between this rear right tire and this rear left tire, and I am tired of trying to fix it by pulsating this brake caliper. I'm done. I'm turning off. I'm turning on a check engine light for a speed difference. Done. You don't get trash control. I'm done. I give up. And he'll do that. And the only way you can shut them up is to clear the code, disconnect the battery, or fix the problem, which is usually a tire. Yeah, I seen them go as far as 2 speed sensors and then the hydraulic control unit. And then by the time like it comes to a dealership, I'll be like, it just needs a tire, and then they're kicking and screaming. What do you mean they didn't know this? I'm like, dude, you went to the cheapest shop in town. What do you expect? Like, I don't like the rag on honest shops that are just trying to work their way into the market and have a competitive rate. But if you're making an educated guess, just tell your customer you're making an educated guess. And I'll put that on the work order too when I'm making an educated guess. Every once in a while, I'll tell them, be like, I'm stuck. It's either this or this. And that's all I got for you. So you can buy them both, or you can buy the cheap one. And the majority of the time, the customer will just buy them both. I I hear that. I've tried to explain the Patrix 4x4 system so many times. It can be locked, but at 40 miles an hour, it reverts to front wheel drive. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to other types of math on the electrical system. Mr. Ohm's law. Okay. You can honestly see how Ohm's law can be rewritten 3 different ways to find voltage, resistance, and current. Real simple. I actually have this sticker. I bought it off of eBay, and it's on the back of all my multimeters. I do a lot of diagnostics, so it's pretty usual for me to just have 3 multimeters to be in different quadrants of the car. But sometimes I can honestly forget in the extreme heat, or when I'm just chatting with somebody and they want to know what's going on, I flip over the meter and I show them, hey, Ohm's law, baby. And then they go, oh, damn, yeah, you're right, man. Yeah, yeah, man, it's all this stuff. Wait till I get to the next one, dude. Right there. I found a sticker of this one. eBay. This was $5, and there was magnets available. And if you can't find it, you can Google this one. And I sent it off to an Etsy guy, and he got me stickers and magnets made. I'm about to get the store opened up on the channel, and all this kind of stuff is going to be available. So I'm going to be having all this stuff available for you guys too, at an at cost value. I don't want to make any money on it from you guys. I really just want to make it available so you can have stickers, you can have magnets, put them on your toolbox, put them on your tools, so that way you can always see them. But again, look how math can translate the relationship between all the powers, all the watts, all the resistance. It's just like the circle of life. It all rotates amongst each other. So a fantastic cheat sheet. If you're watching this on your phone, or if you're watching this on your computer, go ahead and use the snippet tool. Take a screen picture. This is going to be amazing for you, or just rewatch it and come back and take another snippet. Okay. If you don't know how to do either one of those, just go ahead. I'll throw it up there. Banners. Bam. Email me, man. Email me. I'll send you this picture. Okay. But again, there's math all over the place. We use a shit ton of it in electrical. We use a ton of it on our cars. Engine building. Oh, golly. You know it's an engine building. I don't know how many kids I see or just be like, oh yeah, I want to work in the shop. Yeah, I want to work. Teach me how to build cars. I want to put turbos on everything. All right, cool. Well, let me just go ahead and teach you about volumetric efficiency, son. Oh, what? Oh, VE. You can't just put a turbo on something. This isn't the Discovery Channel. Where the hell are you getting this from? Ooh, you watch too much YouTube. Let me go ahead and have you start sweeping floors today, and we'll re-interview you in 90 days when you cool off. Now, this is a fantastic book series out there. They're called Essay Design. You find them all over the place at the Barnes and Nobles and the airports and whatnot. And this is going to be my little plug. I don't make any money for plugging them in. Scribd, okay? Scribd. They're $15 a month. You can get them on desktop, mobile, tablet, downloadable. All their content is downloadable for offline use. They have audiobooks, resource books, and if you don't know what Z Library is the online, how would I say? It is the online library for the open library, meaning that anybody can add something to it, copyright free. Let me show you what I found just really quick right before coming here. We found an MK3 1990 Supra service manual. I found parts catalog for Ford Rediff. How about a Ford Escort rally preparation? And underneath it, you can't see it, but it says do not duplicate. Okay. Find some really old stuff in there. I found underneath this one, I found a owner's manual for a Winnebago from like 1979. And we're actually going to go live to it right now. Share screen. Yeah, let's go. All right. So let's throw some ideas up in the chat. Give me something to find right now, guys. I see Ford turd. How about Ford show, Ford turd. Let's see what we can find out there in the Z library. Yeah, they got articles, they got music sheets if you guys are guitarists. Sometimes there's magazines out there, really old magazines. Oh, Ford was TRD for a long time. Got it. Oh, sorry. I read the small version of your post. My bad. Yeah, sometimes you can find product sheets on tires. That's stuff that only service centers get. Let's just type in a generic word for Toyota. Let's see what comes up. And remember, I'm searching strictly under the documents. I'm not looking under books because documents is the free space. There's a customer satisfaction Toyota diesel PDF. Okay, so that's looks like a parts catalog right there. Yeah, sometimes you'll find old parts catalogs in here. I found some student handbooks from Toyota. There's a human resource management book from Toyota. Small engine. Okay, all right. Look for small engine stuff. I guarantee there's a ton of small engine stuff. (1985 to 2001) writing products. How about that, baby? With wiring diagrams. Automatic transmission repair manual, wheel horse transaxle, and Eaton Model 7 hydrostatic transmission. Damn, dude, that stuff's old. Like some old Xerox stuff. Sunday's been going pretty good. Yeah, made myself some homemade gyros. Slept in a little bit, just chillaxing. It was Saturday. I was a wreck. I stayed up way too late on Friday with Fluffy on his channel, and then I went into work and I tried to finish up that wiring harness, and I just kind of laid in that car for about 20 minutes on the floorboard, about every hour, like, I don't want to be here. But I got her done. I got her done. But yeah, guys, if you're a big hobbyist, like this is like the bee's knees, man. And the cool part is you can save these, you can download them. All right. You get legit downloads. What we got? Could not find anything for an old Craftsman snowblower I had. All right. Craftsman snowblower, huh? That was probably a Briggs Stratton then, right? L-E-I-C-K-E-R H-Y-G-R-O. I probably spelled hydrostatic wrong, I bet. Yeah, I did. Let's make it bigger for y'all to see. Something about a skid steer here. Parts list and illustration. And sometimes, to be honest, Shopcat, the the people who upload the stuff, they don't always label things correctly. They don't spell things correctly, or it could be in a different language. So you got to go down the rabbit hole a little bit. But I've found some weird things on here. Sometimes people intentionally spell things wrong just to kind of hide it. I don't know why. Hey, what is this one? This is a VIX Industrial Hydraulics Manual. Don't know why you'd want that, but there you go. Okay, I'm gonna go back to what you said. First result is possibly it. This right here. Yeah, look, math. Oh yeah, there's on this website, there's full college books on here. And like I guys can show you like YouTube. You can get full automotive air conditioning books that you would take at trade schools. All digital copies right here. This isn't the bullshit stuff that you get from Barnes and Noble that just has pretty pictures. You guys are getting like the real deals. Fun book series that I was going to put in a plug for y'all. Where is it at? Maybe I just need to go to my favorites here. I got to unzoom out so I can navigate a little bit better. I'll zoom back in. So this company right here, SA Design, or publisher, I should call it, that publisher specifically. All their publishing books are up here. They're really, really good. And they make a lot of really good specific books if you are old 80s metalheads, especially like old C bodies, Fox bodies, uh, LS1 swaps. They'll make books just on that one thing. Here's one of those weird PDFs I found. This one, there's a Mercedes-Benz transmission right from the manufacturer. And dude, so you could spend all day on here just looking through stuff. Want to work on big cats? There you go. Big cats. This website is so addictive here. It's like if you remember what it was like when you first saw YouTube for the first time, that's what this place was like for me. I was like, oh, ho, 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 ho. If you want to get yourself schooled, read the Bosch Automotive Handbook. This will teach you how codes are set, and it'll blow your mind on everything. Maybe Grayson should look in there and learn how to make a decent system. Yeah. All right, folks. Well, it is past 6 o'clock. I got to release you all so you can go jump on other people's channels. My time is up here. I will see you all next Wednesday. We are going to be doing our hump day at 7 p.m. Okay. That is where we're going to go out and troll the trolls. If you are working on a channel and you need some subscribers, go ahead, email me. Let me know you want on the channel. I'll bring you on as a co-host, and we'll go out there troll hunting together. We'll go shoot down some trolls, go look at other people's channels, see what's going on, and we'll help each other's traffics out. Okay? So long. Thank you again. And I'll try and work on this music thing again. All right? Toodles.